So I have been addicted to my salary a decade back, but since I have started implementing this payday routine, things have drastically changed for me over the course of time. Now I believe I am controlling the money I have, while earlier this money was actually controlling me. Is this the case with you? If this is the case with you, then stick around with this video and I'll show you how you can control this money instead of this money controlling you on the payday. Let's dive into those points that I've specifically created for GCC expats, because myself, I have been a GCC expat for the last 15 years now. First thing first, now that you have received the salary, make sure that you review your payslip as well. Payslip is very important. You will get to know that what are your numbers, because these numbers will eventually reflect on your end of service and other benefits as well. So make sure that whatever promised salary is there, whatever the breakdown has been given to you in your contract or after your increment, whatever the contract is, whatever your increment is, make sure that is reflecting on your payslip as well. Because if you don't focus on this, if your basic salary is less, I'm talking about specifically for the GCC expats, if your basic salary is not sorted, then you will have problems in your end of service gratuity as well, because this will be calculated based on your basic salary. So make sure it's around 50%. Normally that basic salary is around 50% of your full income. Whatever the case is, it should be communicated from your company properly. Now once you receive your salary, make sure whatever credit card debts you have, whatever high interest debts you have, you should clear them as soon as possible. I would not like anybody to use the credit card without paying that in full every month, because if you are not paying every month, then you are missing out on you are not actually missing out on the cashback, whatever the cashbacks you are thinking of, but actually you are missing out, or you are being penalized of the late fee and penalty, which is exorbitant. Like the credit card in interest rates are in the range of 40 to 50%. Nobody in the world will give you guaranteed returns of this kind of interest rates, let's say 40%, 50% in dollar terms, and you are the one who is going to pay credit card on this term. So make sure whenever you receive the salary, you pay it in full, the credit card amount in full, and whatever you have in debt also try paying it off upfront as much as possible. Another thing you can do is to have auto debit implemented on your credit card. So whatever the amount comes to be towards the end of the month, your bank is instructed to do the auto debit, and the credit card bills are paid on time. This is very important as well, because many times a lot of people miss, not because they don't have the money, but they actually miss the dates, and because of that they get penalties, and normally banks don't waive off that kind of penalty. This is particularly important if you are not organized enough, because if you're not organized enough and you have multiple credit cards, it doesn't matter how much of the cashback you are receiving, how much of the benefits those credit cards are having. I recently made a video about credit card on my English channel, which shows which one is the best credit card I have been using. But at the same time, I've told in that video that I'm using almost 6 or 7 credit cards. But this is me, because I'm making content and I know how to manage so many credit cards. But for a general person, I don't recommend more than a couple of credit cards. So if you're not able to handle 1 or 2 credit cards, don't make more than that. And if you can handle them, then don't make more than 1 or 2 credit cards, because then you will not be able to track and trace. Talking about track and trace, this is my next point, because track and trace is very important. Once you receive the salary, review your last month's performance, review your last month's whatever expenses have been. Tracing and tracking is much more important than you can even think about, because when I was in disarray, this was the first thing I started doing. Start with Google Sheet, start with Excel sheet, start with any application that you want. But for me, I like using Google Sheet. I think Google Sheet is the best tool that you can use to track your expenses, because the reason is that I spend in multi-currency. I spend, let's say, I have back home some expenses which I do through my bank accounts in those countries. If I use multiple apps, it will be having a lot of complexities. But if I use Google Sheet, it can be used, it can be accessed from my MacBook. It can be accessed through my iPhone. It can be accessed through my PC. Anywhere I go, if I have the internet, I can use this Google Sheet. and I can use my customized sheet to insert the expenses whatever I am having for my, let's say, overseas expenses, for my credit card expenses. By the way, if you're tracking and tracing, don't put credit card as your line items. Your credit card should not be there at all in your expense sheet. The expense sheet should have whatever expenses you have done over in the on the credit cards, in cash, overseas, anywhere. It should be there in your tracking sheet. So tracking and tracing is very important. Review your last month's expenses, review your 6 months expenses, you review your 1 year's expenses. You will find a trend and you will know where you are doing badly in your personal finance. One important thing I just wanted to highlight here is that even for a small amount, let's say if I go for parking and if I have to pay 2 dirhams, I can track that amount as well through my Excel sheet or Google sheet or whatever the case is. I used to do that, but now I've found another good way. These apps of RTA, of Salik, of so many other government applications, what they do is basically they will allow you to put money in the wallet. So what I do is basically I pay through my wallet, and then that amount is deducted from that, and I don't have to track that 2 dirhams or 4 dirhams every time. And then while you are tracking and tracing, make sure that you keep buffer for emergency fund. Emergency fund is very important. After paying off your high interest debt, you should be keeping a buffer for your emergency fund. Now emergency fund can be for 2 months, 4 months, 12 months, 3 years even. I had a conversation with one of the real estate agent. He told me that they have a inconsistent stream of income, and that is the reason they keep emergency fund for at least 3 years. So this is what you want to do. Wherever you want to park the emergency fund, it's up to you, but for me it should be highly liquid. And maybe, let's say, if you're parking the emergency fund for a year, then maybe for 6 months you can park in very high liquid bank account, and the other 6 months of emergency fund you can park in a high interest yielding account like Vio Bank here in the UAE, or even National Bond or something like that. So it is important to keep emergency fund. Once you have the emergency fund intact, then only go for the investment. And this is our next point. Investing is very important. Now you cannot, as I said before, that I make sure that this money works for me, and this money will only work for me while I'm investing this amount, because then I can get the passive income. And there are a lot of options to have passive income while you are living in the UAE, because once you are in the UAE, there are a lot of opportunities come to you for investments. Like, let's say if you want to invest in the properties in Dubai and you don't have enough money, what you can do is go to platforms like Smart Crowd. Smart Crowd basically is a crowdfunding platform which allows you to invest in Dubai properties through their platforms, and you can invest as low as 500 dirhams. Use my referral code, by the way, and you will get 250 dirhams of referral bonus through my referral code. So if you want to, let's say, invest in UAE properties and you don't have enough money, you can go for 10,000 dirhams, 20,000 dirhams, 40,000 dirhams, whatever the amount is, or even 500 dirhams. You can start with 500 dirhams, although I don't recommend such low amount of investment in such kind of platforms, because then you will not be able to reap good returns, because these kind of platforms gives you around 4 to 5% of rental returns, and then over the period of time when the property price appreciate, they will give you further appreciation returns as well. So I would say I'm eyeing for, let's say, a long term annualized return of 8% through these platforms. So Smart Crowd is a very good platform. Stake is a very good platform. I've got the links in the description. You can use those links to get some referral bonus, and I get the referral bonus as well. Then there are options of investing in the US stocks. The US, I've made several videos, by the way, for these all platforms. I've made several videos. I don't want to explain more of these things in this video, but you can invest in Sarva, you can invest in Baraka, you can invest in Sarva with hands-off approach. Or let's say if you want to invest in the stocks directly, like you want to buy Amazon, Apple, Google, or these kind of stocks directly, you can go directly and invest through them. These are localized companies which are governed by, or let's say you can say they are regulated by UAE authorities, so you don't have to worry about their authenticity. So I have been making about these platforms videos for last several years, because I have this YouTube channel of English language, and then there is another channel of Urdu language which I've been making videos for 3-4 years now. So this is the option. And then again, referral bonus is available for you. If you want to open the account, you can easily go and open the account. Then there are options. While you are living in the UAE, you can open the account in any of the brokerage house here in the UAE for the UAE stocks, and then there also you can get passive income. So the idea is to grow this amount. Idea is to grow this 100 dirhams to, let's say, 200 dirhams, 500 dirhams, whatever the amount you are eyeing on to. While at the time when you are exiting this country as an expat, you must be having a very good amount to for your future, for your kids, for your family. So that is important. Now the next point is, once you receive the salary, you should be asking yourself, is it good enough amount that you've been paid for, or you deserve more? This is a question that you should ask for yourself. So if you are thinking that, okay, I'm not being paid enough for what I'm doing, then you should either negotiate with your employer about your salary, or do some side hustles, or look for another job. This is the only way you can make more money. Investing can only take you so much. It will not give you leaps and bounds, because investing is a very long term process. The compounding will work, but it will work very late, maybe 5 years, 10 years down the line. But if you want to have more money right now, you have to earn more money right now. So making more money means, either you, if you're doing just a job, then get a promotion, or let's say find another job, or let's say do some side hustle. Like I'm doing this YouTube. Many people do so many other things. Go to Fiverr, Upwork, and find out work there. So you have to ask yourself that, are you satisfied with whatever you're getting? If you're not satisfied, then go for more money and go for higher income. Now there is another point. Many people will go from the UAE to countries like, let's say, Canada, UK, Australia, or even they go back home. If you're talking about South Asian countries like India, Pakistan, or even countries like Philippines, whichever country you go to, you will be paying taxes there. So you should understand that country's tax system, because I know I have been talking about taxes a lot on my channel as well. While I'm doing the podcast with friends of mine from Canada and UK, Australia, and these countries, they talk about taxes a lot. The reason is that the tax levels there is too much. It's actually 40 to 50% sometimes, or even more. They pay in the taxes. So it is important to understand taxes. If you are not, we are fortunate enough living in this country, we don't have to pay income tax, but you have to understand taxes, because once you migrate to another country, you might have to pay a lot of tax based on whatever income you're getting. So if you don't understand taxes, you will be losing a lot. It's been 15 years for me in this country, and now I forgot that there is some kind of taxes that is involved once you get the money from your employer, or even if you're doing a business, you have to pay taxes. So because I'm blessed to be in the UAE, I don't have to worry. But maybe in future, if I go somewhere else, or if you go somewhere else, you might have to. So this is very important. Then celebrate your wins. If you are on the target, if you find that you have reached the target of this month, or let's say next 6 months, you think that the target is achievable, or last 6 months, whatever target you have set for yourself financially, it is achieved, celebrate it. Gift yourself something, but not like gifting some. I have been talking to one of my friend. This podcast will come after this video probably, but he told me that he purchased a car, a Nissan petrol car, just because he wanted to gift himself a gift for his birthday. So it's not like that. If you want to gift yourself, gift something. I have gifted myself like this small device. This I use for Pomodoro. I have made a video on my Urdu channel about this Pomodoro technique. This is a timer. This is a kitchen timer. I've linked it in the description below. If you want to have a look, if you want to buy this particular device, it is a good device. If you want to increase your productivity on desk, let's say if I'm making videos right now, and if I want to make sure that I finish this work in 20 minutes, I'll put the timer, and I keep on the target of making the video within that time. Because otherwise the time can be very elastic, and it can expand whenever you want, and however much you want. This is the reason I use this timer. I use this timer for my work routine as well. I used this timer for my YouTube routine, so many other things. So I put the link in the description. You can buy this timer if you want to increase your productivity. So I gift myself a lot of things. Like I gift myself a new camera just recently. I put the link in the description for that camera as well. So things which increase my productivity, I give myself. Because of that, I do productive thing. I make more money from my time, or I give that free time to my family, which is important, because happiness is important, and happiness comes not only from money but spending time with your family. And the power of money is that you gain time from that liberty that money provides you. So once you have enough time, you can spend either with your family or your friends or your hobby, whatever the thing is. So it is important to make more money just to liberate yourself. I make such videos about personal finance, productivity. Like this video and comment below what you think about this video. I made recently a video about smart crowd. Here is the video link. I've talked about this in this video as well, and I talked about passive income options here in the UAE. Here is the link to the video. How did you like the video? Please let me know. Thanks a lot.